She is daughter to the late Tom Mboya, an astute politician who is famed for having helped, among others, the late Nobel laureate Wangari Maathai and the late Barack Obama Sr., father to U.S. President Barack Obama, acquire education in the United States. The program, pioneered by the late Tom Mboya and President John F. Kennedy in the 1960s, was then dubbed the Airlifts.
I'd always been impressed with the Airlift, the program that my father did. Particularly as I grew up seeing where some of those individuals ended up. They ended up in great leadership positions, but it always struck me that there were very few women. The majority of them were men.
Today, Tom Mboya's legacy lives on through his daughter, Susan Mboya, Group Director, Eurasia Africa Group for Women's Economic Empowerment of the Coca-Cola Company.
Well, the Women's Economic Empowerment Program at Coca-Cola, we call it 5 by 20, is actually our commitment, Coca-Cola's commitment, to empower 5 million women by the year 2020.
And founder and president of Zawadi Africa, who started the educational fund to provide scholarships to outstanding needy students who are unable to afford university education in Ivy League colleges.
As I sort of went up the corporate ladder, I recognized that I had been very fortunate. I had had a lot of help along the way, and growing up as I did with the parents that I had, I also had some great role models, and I always felt that, you know, if I could help other young women experience the same thing, that would be you know, a way for me to give back. And that was really the genesis of Zawadi Africa.
Zawadi Africa was started 10 years ago to provide opportunities to students who performed exceptionally well, coupled with strong leadership potential.
When you're trying to bring forth the greatest leaders that you can, you really want to give them the absolute best education possible. You know, we've been told, you know, you're educating one girl, you know, the money that goes into educating one girl could educate thousands. And, you know, I think Zawadi is really starting now, 10 years down the road, to vindicate itself in that our students who are graduating are now starting to do their own programs, you know, a lot of community outreach programs. This year alone, our Zawadi graduates in their community outreach will have impacted or helped over 6,000 beneficiaries.
Susan says that concentrating on the girl child was motivated by, among other issues, the fact that women have for a long time evaded leadership opportunities in Africa.
There is a leadership gap between women and men, and so the counsel I would give women is, even if you're 50% ready, go for it. You will learn on the job. People will help you learn on the job. You're smart, that's how you got to where you are. But I think a lot of times that gap happens because men are less risk averse. And if they believe they're even partially qualified for a job, they'll put their hand up. Whereas women, we want to be absolutely 100% qualified before we do that.
Beneficiaries are not only placed in universities abroad, but locally as well.
I am a Zawadi alumni. I joined Zawadi in 2006, went to Smith College, and finished in 2010. I majored in biochemistry and economics, and right now I'm a founder of Masomo Mashinani here at Babadogo Primary School.
Thank you, Zawadi, very, very much. It was an eye-opener. You know, it now makes the meaning of education not, how can I put it? You get to learn that education is opening up an empty mind to become an open mind. Leaders
are nurtured, they don't just sort of wake up and become leaders. So after taking them through all this leadership development activity over the 4 years, one of the requirements that we have with the program is that they do some kind of community outreach. They go back to schools. We actually have a program that we call Beyond the Classroom, where Zawadi beneficiaries during the summer holidays go to high schools in the rural areas primarily, and they talk to young women there about their own experiences. And it's a really powerful program because they're talking with authority as somebody who came from that exact same environment.
Once a girl is a member of the Zawadi Africa family, she's a life member.
They all get mentors whose job is not just to sort of check on them, but they check their grades, they give them ongoing advice, and they really push them. We have reading requirements, so that we really want to make sure that they're well read and that they understand a broad variety of issues and discussions that are happening in the world.
Students continue to mentor and receive mentorship and are assisted with job placement after graduating.
They are now in demand, not just here, but they're in demand with everyone. Wall Street wants them, everyone wants them. And so we realized it's important for us to have something for them to come back to and something that's competitive. So we have a repatriation program. We pair them again with mentors, career mentors, when they're in their last year.
Zawadi Africa celebrated its 10th year anniversary earlier this week, and Suzanne's vision is that in coming years, the real drivers of the global economy will be women.
The first woman president in Kenya is probably going to come out of Zawadi. Our ambition for them is to really enable them to unleash the potential, the full potential that they have.
As they are the most dynamic and fastest growing economic force in the world.